What is up everyone, JJ here, and today I'm back with another video to be reviewing a camera that I really wanted for a very long time, which is the Olympus XA2. So why did I want this camera for so long? This has been my dream camera because it's a point and shoot that has manual capabilities. So you can zone focus with it, it has a detachable flash, and it's pocketable. So let's get into everything that it has to offer. First thing that I want to talk about is the zone focusing. With zone focusing, what that means is that there's going to be three options that you have on the camera for focusing. So there's going to be a mountain, two people, and one person. Each display means a different thing. So for the mountain, that means landscape. Everything's going to be in focus and there's going to be no bokeh on the background of people that you take photos of or anything. It's just going to be a flat image that has everything in focus. Next option is the two people, which is going to be something around 5.6 aperture, which is an all-rounder for street photography, groups of people, and it's really ideal for just about most photos. And then you get into the very close-up, which gives you the bokeh behind subjects and people, making it so that when you take a photo of someone close-up, the entire background's blurred so that the subject is the main focus. You gotta be really careful about the very close one, however, because it gets out of focus very easily, and you need to know the exact distance between you and the person, which is about 3 feet. For me, this zone focusing was a really important thing and is the main reason why I wanted this camera so bad, because I felt with a lot of point and shoots I used in the past that are fully auto, they don't focus that quickly, and for me I require quick focusing and something that's just easy to open up, take a photo of, and put away. Because of this, I had the Mu 1 in the past, which I sold because I really liked the camera, but the autofocus just wasn't for me. And I still recommend the camera heavily for anyone that has it. And it's an amazing camera with an amazing lens, but I just felt like the Olympus XA2 was more manual and was more my thing. Next up, the next capability on this camera is the flash. This flash is detachable. That is huge because I don't need the flash every single day when I go out and take photos because I do a lot of day shoots. So when I go outside and I just need something that I need in my pocket, I just grab the Olympus XA2 without its flash. It's so small without the flash, and it's very lightweight, and everything on the camera is on there. It's just that the flash isn't on there, and it's amazing. I really love how small this camera is without the flash. And I actually only put on the flash when I go out during night, and that's maybe like once in 2 weeks or a week. So a lot of the time this XA2 doesn't have a flash on it, which is great. Even with the flash on, it's a really compact camera that can still fit in my pockets, and I really enjoy the flash because it has 3 different settings, 100, full, and 400. 100 is the least bright. Full makes it so that the background is also kind of flashed in, so that when you're taking a photo of a subject, the background is also a little bit, there's lighting for that as well. And then 400 is the highest flash. So I really enjoy that you can customize the flash as well, just how you can customize just about anything with this camera. One other thing that you can really customize on this camera is the ISO. This is actually shown on a lot of other cameras as well, other than the fully automatic ones that detect the film ISO already. This one you have to set the ISO, but whereas that's a tedious thing that a lot of people forget to remember, for me I think that's a huge advantage because you can overexpose and underexpose your photos because of that. So for example, if you have a portrait 400, something that's 400 ISO, you can set it to 200 ISO, and then all your photos are going to be overexposed because the shutter is going to be slower for each photo because the meter works differently for different ISOs. That's why I really love this option that you have on the camera, because I can change the ISO and overexpose or underexpose depending on what I really want. For some people that can be a disadvantage, but for me it's a huge advantage. Other stuff on this camera that I want to talk about, the shutter button. It's a flat shutter button, so a lot of people don't know how to take a photo on this camera when I first hand it to them, because it's just like a touchpad. It's very textile, and when you click down on it, it doesn't really feel like you're taking a photo, but you hear a little snap, you hear a little click. It just goes very quickly, so it's very subtle. It's a super subtle camera that you can just take a quick photo of someone, and people don't really think much of it. When I'm taking photos of friends, they don't really have the camera in their mind, so they're not nervous when you're taking photos. It's just something really small, so I find it really ideal for capturing the moment. I really like that about this camera. And also it has a slide turn on function, just like a lot of the other Olympus cameras, and I really love doing that because it's just so satisfying to do that. It also has a winding that's just like disposable cameras, where it's just a little gear kind of like thing where you just twist it and then that goes on to the next photo. Some people don't like that. Some people prefer the lever winder. Some people find that to be more satisfying, but for me, the little gear winder is super convenient because it's so small and it doesn't really bother anything. Speaking of winding, this is a manual winder. So when you put in the film roll, it's just like a manual SLR, where you're going to be using the winder on top and also the lever to take one photo before you close the lid, and then 2 photos after you close the lid to finally get onto your first photo. People find that tedious. There's auto winders on other point and shoots that are super easy. You just pop it in, put it into the hinges, and then it'll be good to go. Whereas this one, it's going to be a longer process. However, for me, I'm so used to doing the manual winding that it's no big deal for me. When you want to wind it back, you just press the button on the bottom and then you wind it, just like a manual SLR, as I said before. And it's a really old function, but I find it to be very functional, and I love the design of this camera, and it's everything that I wish for. So who is this camera for? I say this camera is for intermediate to long-time film photographers that really understand how film cameras work and want to have a point and shoot, just so that when they go outside and want to have something that's not too bulky, this is the perfect camera for that, because it has manual capabilities while still being a point and shoot body. The other reason why I say this is for intermediate film photographers is because of the price. This has a very high entry point price of $200 around if you want to get it at very good condition. But I was very lucky and I got it on auction online for about 20 bucks. That was with no guarantee of it working. So I wouldn't tell you to buy something that has no guarantee of working, but if you want to buy something that has a guarantee, it's usually going to be around $200. So that's why I say that a lot of intermediate photographers are probably going to be more likely to buy this, because if you want to just get your first film camera that has that film aesthetic, I'd suggest a point and shoot that's auto that you can just take out, has a flash, and you really don't have to worry about any of the settings. But for me, who really wants to think about the photos that they take their time with things, and have still a small thing that they can take on little trips, I suggest this heavily. So finishing thoughts, this is a camera that I really wanted for a long time. It's been my dream camera. I hyped it up so much, and yet it still was worth all of the hype and all of the time that I really dreamed of this camera, because the design is just exactly, it feels like it was made for me. So that about covers it for all of my thoughts on this camera. If you want to follow my social media, it's in the links below. I'd really appreciate the follow, and thank you so much. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.